I do, or you do?
Tell everybody.
Yeah.
On just a second, we gotta feel like we're low on battery.
We're low on battery. Hey, everybody. If you're here, happy Tuesday to you. We're just going to change out the batteries in my mic real quick because our all right, how are we looking?
All right, you got 3 bars.
We got battery. We got sound, I think. Katie, are you with us today? Do we have sound? La 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 la. I don't have any glasses, so yes, I do. Never mind. Hey, everybody. We've got a little bit of an issue this morning in that I am locked out of Facebook. So we are broadcasting only on the YouTube channel, which means we just have to wait a minute to get started. So for those of you who are on YouTube, welcome. If you can just bear with us for a minute. We've got to wait while Katie pops onto YouTube, onto Facebook, and puts up some posts letting people know, giving them links to get over to the YouTube channel, because there's lots of people who watch on Facebook instead of YouTube. So I'm going to do some entertainment for a second or two while things start happening and Susie sees the eyeballs popping on. Katie says she she can hear and see us. So that's half the battle, right? Couldn't hear us initially. Got new product to talk about today. It's going to be very exciting. It's a product most of you have been waiting to see. We did tell you it was available on the website, but I didn't have it to demo, and now I do. So you're going to get to see that 2 new Slide Stash and Store products today, as well as ask questions about your stash. What are you hoping to organize? What do you need help organizing? That's what we're here. That's what we're all about on Tuesday Live. So I think my girl Katie, Katie, if you can hear me, did you get the posts up on Facebook? What do you got for eyeballs, Susie? Do you have people popping on?
Yeah.
People are popping on YouTube. All right. So it is Tuesday, April 30th, and I'm excited that all of you are here with me this morning. What else do I need to tell you? I think all I need to talk about today is answer your questions. If you're new, if you're just joining us for the first time, if you get in the chat and you type in a bunch of question marks or the word question in all caps, then Susie and Katie know to watch for those questions, and they'll feed them to me, and I'll try to answer your questions. Also, if you're new, we do give away a $25 gift certificate every week for the Crafter's Companion website. So you can choose your own Totally Tiffany products. And in order to be in the drawing for that prize, you need to make sure that you get in the comment feed. So you can ask a question. You can tell us how long you've been following along with Totally Tiffany Tuesday Tribe, or maybe you're brand new. Or, what's your favorite product? Any Totally Tiffany product, anything like that. So I think we should jump right into it. And let's talk about these 2 new products that we've got. And they are the new, so this is a 10-inch Slide Stash and Store. It's called a ribbon tray. It's number 13 in the Slide Stash and Store, I believe. Unique to this product is that we have added this little label tab in the front. So our older Slide Stash and Store did not have the label notches, but it's real simple. It's just a couple of notch holes right here, and then you get these handy little so particular with this one, the flap for the box is right there. So you kind of want to pull that flap down and tuck that in, and then just feed it through the other side. And then, of course, you can use your label maker to label the front of it, or you can write on it, whatever you want to do. So this is a 10-inch tray. It is 10 inches long by, look at my little measurement, by just shy of 4 inches wide. These will fit, of course, in your 10-inch deep cupboards. And they will also fit in your IKEA. If you have the IKEA Kallax with the wine bottle separator in it, they will fit in each of those little sections in the wine bottle separator. What are you going to do with it? well, you can organize all kinds of things with it actually, but ideally it was designed to hold ribbon, right? To get your ribbon collection all organized. So you can see here, I've just got a bunch of St. Patrick's Day ribbon there. And you could use smaller rolls of ribbon or even washi tape, and you can put them in either direction. So depending on what you've got in the tray, you can go sideways instead of across. So if they're longer, or if you have little smaller ones, you want to go that way, you can go either way with them to get that organized. So really easy, simple way to use that. It's also going to work for other things, of course. You can put anything you want into it, but here's that collection of all of your tape runners, right? So they're easy to grab and go with. Or maybe you're going to use smaller items, like this is just a huge collection of glitter glues, stickles, that type of thing. The nice thing about this is it doesn't matter if they're the bigger version or the smaller version. They're all going to fit together in the tray really nicely and easily. Pull it off the shelf, bring it to your workspace. Now you've got all those glitter glues. Maybe it's paints or pearls or embossing powders or anything like that. Maybe you're going to fill yours with baker's twine. I'm kind of looking over at my shelf there to see what else I have. Wood-mounted stamps you could possibly put in there. You'd have to label the top so you know what they were, but that type of thing. But you're going to love them for cabinet storage. Again, they're only 10 inches deep, so they're going to fit in your upper cabinet. So this is the first 10-inch deep slide stash and store. And again, it is the, I believe it's called the 13. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Katie, because she has the links up there. I see that Katie's already got a question popping up here.
Somebody's asking where they can buy the new items.
Oh, what do you recommend? Katie's going to put up a link. Crafter's Companion website, the only place that you can find the two new items I'm talking about today. They're not available at any other retailer just yet. So the Crafter's Companion website is where you're going to find both of them. Katie has a couple of links. I think she's going to try and throw them up in the feed. And Susie could probably open up another tab maybe if you want to do that, Susie, and search.
Got one more question for you. Where did it go? What do you use to store Tim Holtz stencils?
What do I use to store Tim Holtz stencils? I think Tim Holtz stencils are longer and narrower, right? If I'm remembering correctly, I believe that they can go side by side. Those are all scrapbook.com in an 8x8, or maybe even, sorry, I'd have to, I know I have them. I don't have my catalog handy to look that up. I think you can put two of them side by side in an 8x8 tab divider pocket. Dun, dun, dun. Gosh, I know I have them too. I don't want to. Tim Holtz stencils in here. Oh, what's that? No. If you give me the dimensions on them, I could tell you more accurately. I am pretty sure that they fit in two of them right next to each other in the 8x8 tab divider pocket. Stamps. It'll pop into my head in a minute, like exactly where they are. They also work well in the scrap rack if you're using the scrap, if you're storing in the scrap rack. Now, one of the things you can do with the scrap rack pages is customize the pages to fit those pockets. So the Tim Holtz, or the ones that I have, stencils are kind of long and skinny, which also means that they would probably work well in the Slimline collection. But if you give me the dimensions on that, it'll make it easier for me to actually confirm the perfect storage for those Tim Holtz designs. Okay, Katie has another question here. What do you recommend for storing the spiral wires for the cinch machine? From Debbie's Crazy Crafts. Those are a pain, aren't they? They are a pain to work with. So the spiral wires for the cinch machine. Dun, 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 dun. This is Slide Stash and Store. I believe this is a number 4. Yes, it is. It has a number 4 right there. So I have got the book bindings. This is one that I cut to make a smaller book. And then I have got my spines. And I slipped the spines into vinyl organizer sleeves, right? Because they get all hung up on each other. Now, if you don't have the vinyl roll organizer sleeves, you could do something really similar with just a piece of paper or cardstock. Just make your own tube and slide them in there, right? Doesn't matter if the tubes get crushed up a little bit, but if they're not in something, then they all get hung up on each other. And once you take them out of the boxes, they're kind of impossible to put back in the tubes without them getting hung up on each other. With all that said, I do have another slide stash and store that has the boxes in it. Did I take that to my mom's for craft club? I thought it would be right here also. But the boxes also fit in your slide stash and store. So, there it is. Right, so if you're storing them in the boxes like this, and the boxes have little dividers on the inside as well, then your boxes can go vertically in a slide stash and store. And I believe this is a number 3. It's narrower than the number 4. But if you've got them in the boxes, they'll go vertically in the number 3 slide stash and store, or you can wrap them somehow, like I said, with a piece of cardstock. Just make a little tube out of that cardstock to keep those all from getting all bunched up. So if you've got them in the boxes, vertically, slide stash and store number 3. If you've got them and you're just laying them down in there, this is the number 4. And then I also have, so if you got the other parts for creating those cinch books, like the book covers, those will fit in your slide stash and store as well. It makes it really easy to grab them and keep them organized. So, and if you do have, so these came in a really big box, right? And once I took them out to use them, they were almost impossible to get back in. So if you get the smaller boxes and also the big box, maybe you want to just keep those smaller boxes to keep them segmented in there, but it makes it really easy if you can wrap them in something or keep them in that box, would be mine. But they are kind of a pain, right, to deal with. Question, any update on the kitchen cabinet slide stash in the store? I think they are 10 inches. Yes. So this version is one of that. This is 10 inches. We do not have the taller ones yet. So, but this is the first of the 10-inch ones to be available. And so it will work in kitchen cabinet, and you can put other things in it as well, right? But what else do we have? Other new product. Woo-woo. We finally have the fat quarter organizer boxes, and these come in sets of 3. So do the others. They come in sets of 3. They link together with these little locking tabs. So the locking tabs slide into the slots, right? So you can put 2 of them together, and now that is 10 inches. Or if you're using the IKEA Kallax, you can put 3 of them together, and then you can slide it using the pull, right? One's going to pull the next one along using the finger hole in the front. And so in the Kallax, 3 of them will fit together. Now, also, if you're using the Kallax or the Expedit, either one, and you put the middle shelf in, right, then these will fit. They're short enough to fit under the middle shelf. So if you've got that double shelf, you can put them in there. They're also going to come with, so they're ideal for fat quarter storage, right? So here we go. This is loaded with fat quarters. They're going to come with this little folding piece right here. So when you get them, you want to keep that, because even if you're not going to use it for fat quarter storage, I'm going to show you some other things. You could use it as a divider within the system, or you could use it in the bottom of the box, keep the box bottom flat. So you don't want to get rid of that, even if you're not a fat quarter person. Do you want to switch to the overhead, Susie, and we'll talk about fat quarter folding? So this is included so that you can always fold your fat quarter. So what I've done here, I just have a fat quarter. So I'm going to fold it in half to start with. And then you're going to start with your folding template here and just go. So when you buy them, they're already folded. But once you wash them, right, they no longer are. So then you can take that folding template. Now you can pull it out. And then you can use it to refold your fat quarters into the right shape so that they fit in the box. So it's really simple, super easy to use. You're going to get that perfect fold, and then you're going to be able to put them right back into the fat quarter storage box where they belong. See how nice and neat that folds right in there. So each set of 3 boxes comes with one folding template. But if you wanted to use it as a divider for things as well, you can do that also. Maybe you're going to divide by colors. It does also make it easy to pull them in and out, I guess, because you got that little like slide it in and out kind of concept there too. So fat quarter boxes, you get 3 boxes, and you get, I know someone's going to ask right now, the dimensions on them, 5 by 4.5 by 2 3/4 inches tall. All right, are we back on the regular camera, Suze?
No.
All right, let's go back to regular.
Okay.
Okay.
I have packages of
Ephemera.
Okay. That came with a card kit. Cards are made. How do you put leftover
Ephemera.
in the scrap rack? Some of it are animals, some are plants, etc.
How do you store your leftover ephemera after you have completed a card kit? You're just going to put it into your 4-section system wherever it belongs, right? So if you have, she says she's got plants, probably flowers, and animals. It just kind of depends what they are and how your scrap rack is set up. So if the animals are farm animals and you have a section called farm animals, that's where they're going to go. Maybe you just have an animal section, they would go there. Flowers would also go, for me, in flowers. Now, some people put flowers in spring. I don't do that. I put all the flowers together in a flowers category unless there's something totally specific like a poinsettia. And when I need a poinsettia, I'm going to be thinking Christmas. And so they're going to go right in the Christmas section. And that's really the key. Like, how are you going to think about those things? Because that's how you want to find them. So whenever you think flowers, you go to your spring section, then you're going to want to put them in spring. But if you have a section called flowers and that's how you think, that's where you're going to want to put them. So once you've used the majority of the kit up, that's a great way to go. Now, if there's a lot of kit pieces left, you may want to put all those kit pieces together in a scrap rack page if there's a specific theme or something like that. But it sounds like you're ready to break those up into different categories. So that would be my suggestion for storing that ephemera, which is a difficult word to say.
Especially if you don't know what it means.
Right, especially if you don't know what it is.
Will 13 and 14 come in the longer length? I hate to waste the space in my Kallax cubes.
So and I don't know if this is the 13 or the 14. The square one links together, so you get 15 inches of depth, right? So, and that is the premise of this one, is that it can link together to get you 5, 10, or 15 inches of length. So if you have 15 inches of length, let's put it on my regular 13-inch shelf here. Let me link these together without putting on my glasses. Hang on a second. There is a little bit of a, I could just put on my glasses, I guess. Okay, so if you've got them linked together and you've got a regular shelf length, so these shelves, I think, are 13 inches. So you're going to get some overhang in a 13-inch shelf, about 1.5 inches, if you have them all linked together, but they pull forward this way. But you will not be wasting space in your Kallax because once they are linked together, they're perfect. Now, the ribbon tray, I don't know when that will be, when the 13-inch length of that will come out. Sorry, I wish I had a better.
I've got another one for
Okay.
you. Shelley Garrison is coming back, but Tim Holtz stencils are 8.5 by 4 and 6.25 by 3.25.
8.5 by 4. 8.5 by 4. Oh, so 4, that's a bigger, I don't have any of that size. Yeah, I'd go the 8 by 8 pocket and you could put 2 in. So these guys, well, I don't know, maybe what size are these? So these are these are 8 by 6. So these are 8 by 6, the scrapbook.com stencils. And I have 2 in a pocket and I just overlapped them. I used the backing from the packaging, right, to separate the 2. I don't know what happened to this one, but you can go ahead and put 2 of those Tim Holtz stencils, you got that 1/2 inch here. So you can see this comes to the 8 right here, but the top of the stencil, but you still got room at the top. So I would use the 8x8 stencils. Or you could use, she said by 4, 8x4, 8.5x4. You could also use the slimline storage pockets because they're 9x4. 8.5x4. Okay, so the slimline pockets are 9x4. So the slimline storage pockets would also work really well for those. And you can put then multiple stencils in a pocket, especially if you just make a little paper kind of, I just take a piece of paper and fold it at the bottom so it creates a little pocket, and then I put them in and label them. Matter of fact, I will show you that right now. I know exactly where that is. I know many of you have already seen this little method for doing that. So this is the slimline storage box. You can also use the 9x4 toolbox, but this is what I've got for the stencils, right? So I've got multiple stencils in there, and then each one of them, I've just taken a piece of paper and folded it around, and that allows me to slide them in and out against each other without the little pieces of them getting hung up on each other, which is what stencils have a tendency to do, and it makes it easy. So I've got 4 in one 9x4 pocket, and those are probably 9x4, but the Tim Holtz, if it's only 8.5x4, it should fit perfectly in there. Give you a little wiggle room. Okay, so let's go back real quickly to the fat quarter storage. So here are some.
I've got a question on fat quarter storage.
Okay.
While you're there, are there going to be taller versions of the fat quarter storage?
There are no taller versions planned right now. But we do have a whole line of product we're working on called basic boxes, and some of those may be a little taller. But and these can go either way, right? You can put your, well, I wonder what you're trying to store. Tell me what you're trying to store that's taller, right? And you could go vertically with your fat quarter also, instead of going what I'm calling horizontally in the fat quarter there. But these are your jelly rolls, and I forget what these are called, but you can see other fabric, other quilting cuts are going to fit in there as well. And then again, you can link them together to pull them in and out. But they're also going to work for other things. So these are the Stephanie Bernard sprinkles, right? And I just taped on the lid of them a little example of what they look like. So if they're in this box, rather than sitting out somewhere where I can see them, I can see all of the different what is in each of those. And then I did the same thing. I have more of her little goodies, but she also has these fabulous micro fine glitter. So, and you could do this, I guess, with any brand that has a flat lid, and most glitters and stuff do. And so I just used a piece of double stick tape on top of the jar and then glittered that double stick tape, so that if I do have them in here, right, I can see on the top what color they are. So it makes it a little bit easier to find what you're looking for if you don't have a good visual on the front of those. So you're going to find just a plethora of uses for the fat quarter storage that are not necessarily fat quarters or quilting, especially just putting them into your drawer, right? So if you have a drawer, or if you have a craft cart, and one of the problems with craft carts is everything kind of tips over and falls over. You have to put something in there to separate them. When what we tend to put in there is baskets, like this type of thing, right? And the problem with these things is that they're designed to stack for shipping, which makes sense because it's expensive to ship air. So if they stack up, you can get a lot more in a single space. But when you put them next to each other on a shelf or countertop, you lose all the space, right? That's over an inch of space between those two boxes that you lose on your shelf space or in your cart or something like that. And one of the great things about Slide, Stash, and Store is that they're flat on the sides because they come flat. So when you're putting them on a shelf or in that drawer or something like that, you're not losing any space between the two of them, right? So you really can maximize that space. And that really is kind of the big deal with all the Slide, Stash, and Store. right? If you were using bins like this to store any of these things, you would lose that much space between each bin. That is a lot of space when you're talking about craft rooms where we never seem to have quite enough space. So they're going to work great in those drawers as well, no matter what size, right? This in a drawer, this in a drawer, even the regular slide stash and store can be used in a drawer as long as the drawer is deep enough for those different ones to keep everything organized and together inside that space. And I'm looking at this right now thinking there's a couple of drawers in my kitchen that probably need this for some different utensils and stuff. Ha. Yes. So I know what happened. This is what happens. Whenever we introduce something new, you guys get your hands on it, and then we get all this great information about how you're using it. So once you get these home, I'm really excited to see how you are using those things. So yes. And I also am kind of just noticing down here these pods, this pod shape, right? So these are always kind of a challenge. I wonder if you can go 3. You could probably go 3. You probably go 9. So if you have embellishment paste or glitter paste or something like that, that you're trying to also organize, that's going to fit in that, in this tray as well. So a lot of really great options for that. All right.
Ready for another one?
I'm ready.
Let's see. Do the storage bags fit in the Kallax?
Do the storage bags fit in the Kallax? I'm not sure which storage bags you're asking about, but most of our stuff will fit in the Kallax. The 12 by 12 storage and supply cases are a tight squeeze, but they fit. The 12 by 12 paper handlers fit in the Kallax and Expedit, whichever one you got. Expedit was the older version. But everything that we can fit in there does fit. Again, if you're using the wine, the thing that divides your cube into 9 holes, it's designed for wine. Most of the smaller buddy bags are going to fit in there as well. I think there's probably...
She says, like the 4-section boxes in the buddy bag.
So this is the smaller one. So this is the 12 by 12 storage and supply case. And yes, it will fit in the Kallax. In terms of the boxes inside the buddy bags, they're all different sizes. So, the buddy bags kind of range from like small 4x4 all the way up to, 13 inches long, depending on what they are. So it just depends what buddy bag you're trying to put in there. But there used to be, and there probably still are, a bunch of pictures on the internet, maybe in the Get Organized Challenge group, of really organizing those cubes full of buddy bags. And it helps if you have the divider shelf. But I also did a video about how to create your own divider shelves, and it was really, really simple. I can probably show you really quickly right here. I took trim boards like this and put them on the inside, right? So as most of you know, my husband is super handy. So I just told him I need trim boards, and then I needed a flat board. I'll have to pretend I have a flat board that's the size of the Kallax, right? And then I could put that board on top inside the cube. And then, no, I can't. Can you back off this camera a little bit, Susie? Because I don't think you can see the bottom of it. Or tilt it down a little bit. Yeah. So then I could put another set of these boards up against the inside walls of that Kallax cube and another board. And it would be easy. Then I could slot them in whatever size I wanted. So I could get different heights inside the Kallax by doing something as easy as this. So I didn't even secure these to the wall of the Kallax. I just put them against the walls, put a really thin board on top, and was able to build up. Now the board needs to go all the way across to meet the edge of the trim boards, because if it's like this, where it's not all the way across, then you're going to have this weird ridge there if you try to stack another trim board on top. But it was a really easy way to customize my Kallax exactly how I needed, just like I've done here. So if you're looking for a way to build those shelves inside the Kallax, it doesn't have to be complicated, and you can do it this way, and then you can get exactly the height you want just by height of your trim boards and the board that you're using in between. So,
okay. What is the best storage for quilling supplies?
Quilling supplies. I have quilling supplies in a fab file. And I just have everything together in a 12 by 12 fab file with some pockets. I don't quill all the time though. So I think probably if you're looking at something more along the lines of the maybe the 12 by 12 storage and supply case, because the strips of paper are quite long, that would probably be a good a good fit for that. You might look at I think the strips are long. I think I originally had my strips and my tools in a smaller storage and supply case, like the 6-drawer 9 by 12 storage and supply case. But I think the 12 by 12 storage and supply case would probably be a good match for quilling supplies and tools, especially if you have your tools in a little pouch or something in there, and then all the paper, the books, or the instructions that go with it. That would be my guess is probably the best fit for that.
Okay.
Right now.
What would you recommend for the zinc ink pouches?
I don't know what that is. It sounds familiar though. Something else has brought that up. If you can tell me what those look like or what the dimensions are on them or something like that, so just have some point of reference on them, that would be great. Oh, and I've been ignoring Katie over here too. Let's see what she's got. My large TT 12 by 12 storage tote is too heavy for me to lift into my car for crops. Is there something slightly smaller that I could put it in, but remove just when I'm loading the tote into the car? Remove just when I'm loading the tote into the car. So I'm guessing that she's talking about the lowest tote, which can get quite heavy, because especially we have lots of heavy things. I think it probably, weight wise, the only smaller tote that we have is the Nancy tote, and it's a 9-inch by 11 tote. So it's not great for those kind of crafting supplies. It was designed for the 9 by 11 rotating design board. I think, you may just have to go less things in your lowest tote, maybe 2 lowest totes, and kind of split that load half and half. Probably the best bet. The other thing is, inside your lowest tote, if you're using something to organize the inside of the lowest tote, like Slide Stash and Store, then you could just pull out a couple of the Slide Stash and Stores and put them back in. But I think if you're trying to get things to your car, there's probably just a second tote is going to be a better option. And I may not be understanding the question properly, but maybe less things in the tote would probably be good. Or do what I do and make a kid or your husband or the neighbor haul things around for you.
But then you got to get it out on the other side.
That's right. You got to get it out on the other side. Yes. You know what else? I just talked to someone. Someone just texted me about our old craft tote, our old craft cart, which we don't make anymore. And what I have that I bought on Amazon, and this would probably work well for going to events. So it is a 3-tiered cart, but it folds flat. I don't know, maybe I sent that link to someone. So it's only then about, when it folds flat, I'm looking at mine, it's set up, but it's probably only about this wide. And then it's probably 3 feet tall and maybe 15 or 16 inches wide. And it has a little handle on the long side of the back. And so really, if you had that and you put it in your car flat with all your things, then you could pull it out of your car, pop it up, and then fill in that cart with your Slide Stash and Store boxes, and even put your lowest tote on top, or your taller things like 12 by 12 stuff. You probably have 12 by 12 stuff on any shelf. On mine, actually, I'm looking at it from here. It looks like it's probably tall enough. And so that then you could wheel that into the crop, and it would be sitting right next to you. and you would have these 3 levels of things. And the problem with these other carts is that they don't fold flat. So it's harder to keep them, store them, and move them around. But I think this one came with some hooks and it folded flat. It's really a great little cart. I have my Cricut on it right now, actually, and just kind of gets moved away from I can pull it with one hand from the opposite side of my desk and bring it around when I'm working with a Cricut machine. So, yeah, I will try to share a link or get Katie a link to that. It's an Amazon cart. I think it was $40, maybe $50. It was not expensive, although I've had it for 18 months or 2 years, so it might cost a little more now. But it was really a great solution for what I needed it for. But it would be awesome because it folds flat, how you slide it in. Now remember, when you're doing these kind of things, when you're packing and you have something like that, you want to put it in last because you want to pull it out first and load your stuff onto it. So when we talk about this in the Get Organized Challenge, right, about packing to go to an event, when you're loading your car, you want to think about how you're loading it, because there are some things you want to have out first, so those need to go in last. But this folding cart is a really great little option. So I'll try and get Katie a link and she can get it shared. I am locked out of Facebook, for those of you who didn't already hear that. So I can't post anything myself on either of the Tiffany Spalding or the Totally Tiffany Facebook pages right now, but we're working to get that result. All right, what do you got, Suze?
I got storage for watercolor set / palettes.
I have my watercolor pencils, if that's what you're talking about, in a paper taker. I believe they're in the 9x11 or 8.5x11 paper taker. I don't see why that wouldn't work for other watercolor palettes either. I think if you're talking about actual paints versus pencils, let me see what I have right here. I think I just have pencils here. We just taught a watercolor. Oh no, here I got all this. All right. So we just taught a watercolor class, or did a watercolor class in our craft group. I was trying to convince my husband also to learn to watercolor, because when he travels around, it's so easy to travel with watercolors. So this was the stuff from our class. We just have this big palette here. But in here, I've got several watercolor pencil boxes, brushes, paper. So I think, and this is the palette that I have, and it's pretty good size, right? We're talking about just watercolor, but you could easily, so this is just the 9x11 or 8.5x11 paper taker. So it works great for that kind of stuff. And it's because it's all plastic, if something leaks or you get water in it or whatever, you don't have to worry about it. And you could also, like I have this paper, right? I have some on both sides now. You can put the paper behind the tray in there as well to keep it even flatter. But yeah, so I would look at, depending on what size palettes you have and what their paint sets you have, this might be a great 9x11. You could maybe need to go as big as 9x12 if you have a bigger set or more sets that you're trying to keep together. So this set is about 6 inches wide. So yeah, it will fit easily in the 9x12 also, depending on what you put. So super simple way to keep all those. And I have 4 tins of pencils in here, and then of course all my brushes. In they go. How's that? We're going to do another watercolor class, I think, this month again, because we had so much fun doing it at our craft club. We're going to learn how to paint cactus and Southwesty things. So,
imagine that. Remind everybody. Comment.
Oh, if you want to get in on the $25 gift certificate, you have to comment, say hello, tell us where you're from, what you love, how long you've been following, whatever. Just get your name in there so Katie can draw it out. And then if you have a question, start the question with a bunch of question marks, or the word question in all caps, so that Susie and Katie can see it when it pops up. Do we have any other questions? I've got all Katie's questions here. We may be
I've got them all over here too.
We may be wrapping it up a little bit early because most of our viewers are usually on the Facebook page, which we can't get onto today. So, I'll just real quick. There's a little ding here. Real quick, the 2 new products that we've got. This comes in a set of 3. You link the boxes together if you want to, or you can use them separately. But they are going to hold your fat quarter. Now you're going to get the fat quarter folding template with that set of 3 boxes. But they also work great for drawer and shelf organizers, right? So you can fill up your desk drawers with those. So that's the first one, new slide stash and store. And Katie's putting up a couple of links, but if you put in slide stash and store in the Crafters Companion website, you'll find it there. It is the only place that they're available right now. They're not available with other retailers. And then we've got the 10-inch ribbon tray as well in the slide stash and store. So that is going to work great for ribbon. So it also work in your upper cabinets in your kitchen, which is one of the things we're always talking about, that they're just 10 inches deep, or if you have upper cabinets in your craft room. So this is going to fit in there. And then 2 of these are 10 inches deep. So you can, if you've got uppers, that's going to be a perfect way to use that space. So the ribbon tray is going to work also, of course, for all kinds of different products. So we've got, all these guys here in that ribbon tray as well. All right, my crafty friends. Looks like we're going to wrap it up a little bit early today. So Katie is going to draw a winner. I just heard a little beep here, and I have to get back to, let's see. All right. So I think we've got it all. So Katie will do a drawing. And then, of course, always if you have questions, you can post them in the Facebook group, the Get Organized Challenge Facebook group, or the Totally Tiffany page, and we'll try to get those answered there as well. So sorry we missed the broadcast there.
How wide are the trays?
The trays are 3 3/4 inches wide, 10 inches deep. And I think the back height is 1.5 inches, and the front is 1 inch. So, all right, who we got for the winner? The drum roll, please. Deborah Seepley, you are this week's winner on the Totally Tiffany $25 gift certificate. If you don't already have a Club Inspire account, please go to crafterscompanion.com. Set yourself up with Club Inspire. It's free. And once you've got that all set up, send an email to prizes, that's prizes with an S, at crafterscompanion.com. Let them know you are this week's winner, and they will put that $25 into your account. Thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. I will see you all. We're on next Tuesday, right, Susan? Anything coming up?
We're doing something Friday.
Oh, Friday. Oh, yeah. Friday's a Totally Tiffany takeover on Crafters TV. So if you haven't watched Crafters TV, that is broadcast on the Crafters Companion YouTube and Facebook channel, but also on the website. So while you're at Crafters Companion, if you click on the Crafters TV tab at the top, it'll tell you how and when to log in. But we will be on at 9 to 11, I believe, Pacific time, for Craft House, Totally Tiffany takeover at Craft House, and on this Friday, May 3rd. So join us for that. Oh, but we also have another thing on May 3rd. For those of you Canadian friends, we're going to be on Clipper Street. Now, Clipper Street also ships into the U.S. Is that the same day?
You didn't. I don't know anything about.
Oh my goodness! Is that the same day? Okay, stay tuned on that one. Katie probably knows. I think we have 2 things going on. Maybe that's next Tuesday. And we've got another new product release coming up with one of the stamping celebrities that you all know and love. We've got a new product release coming out this month with her as well. So I can't really say anything more than that, but keep your eyes on social media for all those posts also. And watch social. I'm sure Katie will be posting up on social media about that other the Clipper Street event. I'm sorry, I can't believe I don't have that right in front of me, but Katie knows. Maybe she's telling me. Let's see, what does this say? Note from Katie. Yes, it is, which I think means on the 3rd. So Susie may be here earlier than expected if it is,
Really?
or it's later. It might be later. I think it's at,
I have a haircut Friday that I can't change.
oh, I think it's 2:00 on Friday. I'll look. We'll get the social media up and Katie will clarify everything in the feed. So, all right, my friends, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully we'll be back on Facebook by Friday. So we'll see you all on Facebook as well.